What's Manny's last name? What's your last name?
Ramirez.
Welcome to the Fun Report. What is Fun up to now? We shall find out. All the way from Templo Emanuel.
Maranata.
Templo Maranata. Emanuel Ramirez. Woo.
Welcome to the first inaugural podcast.
The Fun Report.
Wait, no. The Fun Report is a segment in our podcast called Chuch Culture, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Fail.
Can you my blanket? Chili.
What does this button do? Oh, crickets.
Yeah. It's when the woman speaks.
Wow. I'm just here for the cheese
okay.
man.
Thank you.
Well, hopefully it records, but it's recording. So, all right, Manny. Well, welcome to our home. Speechless.
After possibly almost got shot trying to break in.
Oh, I know. You scared us for real.
Oh, and also I can play stuff off the phone. We can hear it.
Oh,
Oh, we should do the SVU. Dun 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 dun.
Oh, yeah.
You might get flagged.
Pew, pew.
but we gotta do that. We don't own the rights to whatever.
Oh, yeah. We do not own these rights. Oh, wait.
Or any of our rights. We're the current president.
Dum, dum.
Cool. All right. Well, Manny, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Hey, this was your idea. You stopped by.
Yeah.
You knew this
I
was gonna
just
happen.
stopped by just to chill. I didn't stop by that.
If you would have brought bread, none of this would have happened.
Yeah. It's your fault, actually.
Oh, we got extra eggs. Yeah, want any eggs?
Oh, yes.
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
No, not right now. But
Yeah.
I mean, we have eggs, but we could use some extra ones.
It's not an excuse for you to leave.
I
right
mean,
now.
we also have chickens, so.
I mean, they
Yeah.
keep dying, but
They
have chickens.
do.
And if anybody if there's anybody who would ever hear this, sorry for the background noise. It's the air conditioning because it's hot. So
Somebody
yeah.
broke the AC.
Somebody broke the AC.
Not naming names, but somebody broke it.
It was Mom's fault, actually.
Yeah, right.
She made me throw that.
Didn't y'all find the key like an hour later?
Oh,
No.
yes. It was back to you because
No,
Wait, didn't
I
know.
found it because she put it somewhere. She put it on top of the bookshelf.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
She was blaming me the whole time. ¿Dónde está la llave?
Oh, that's
Yo
true.
te lo dejé.
It's Mom's fault then.
Yeah. Then
Goes
I
back to
found it
Mom.
when I was cleaning. It was on top of the shelf. Yo no sé. Yo te lo dejé. Right.
Meanwhile, she's in a nice 62-degree house. Y'all are here.
Right. Suffering.
It's okay.
It's pretty good, right? The air conditioner thing.
Yeah. Feels real nice.
Yeah.
Until it's like 102 outside. It's gonna feel, yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Remember during last year we kept it on all day.
Mm-hmm.
And
What was y'all's bill?
It wasn't that much.
It was like maybe 150, maybe.
Y'all turned it off and it was like just 100, right?
Well,
Less.
we would turn it off. Yeah.
Oh, but that was with Sal too.
What's out too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
S to the A to the L.
Sebas taught him that today.
What?
So, Manny, what's up with you? What's good? What
Huh?
brought you to this?
Man,
humble
I
home?
really hope it records, but I mean, oh well.
If not, it's our first trial.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, that's fine.
I think it's just me, right?
because you have a condenser mic.
Yeah.
It picks up everything.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could just have like a when I don't talk.
Well, yeah, when you don't talk, that's a gate.
Oh, a
then.
gate.
Should I put a gate?
It's up to
You on my mic?
No, it's fine.
I'll be farther.
I'll put a gate. Threshold.
Yeah.
Check. Check 1, 2, 3. I'll just stay. Am I too loud?
No.
Am I good?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What?
Feels like you gotta scream now with the gate.
No, not really. I just need to get close to it. I do have a deep voice. Not really.
What?
So what's up, Manny?
What's up?
Do you have any topics for us today? I think it's a little too high.
No.
Yeah. No.
Well, that's the end of the FUD report.
Thank you so much for stopping by.
Come on, Manuel. Where's the energy from last week? Where's that, Manuel?
We're the
I don't know.
aliens.
We're the aliens.
No, you know what, Manny?
So-
Honestly, I think we've been like wanting to do a podcast for like almost 2 years, maybe.
Yeah. We keep saying and we're like, let's record. We just never.
And then
actually do it.
I have all the stuff. I just never even just didn't do it.
But today's the day.
But then you kept on insisting, so
I didn't insist. I was
Here we
just
are.
finding a way to just I don't know.
yeah,
That's
That
what a
was bizarre.
podcast is, just chilling and talking.
true.
But you know,
And you showed up today. And it happened.
I don't like hearing myself.
Oh well, we need to hear you, so
Yeah, I don't like hearing
it's fine. And the people love you,
The
so
masses, the millions
Who's the
listening
people?
right now.
the one person who hears this, not even. It's probably just us.
Who knows if this will ever get out?
Well, if it's even recording, so it says recording, but yeah.
Can't trust it.
But no, honestly, the idea I remember when we talked about it over there, it was mainly to bring up topics, controversial topics from like the church.
That the church, that the pastors are
Yeah.
afraid to talk about from the
It
pulpit.
evolved. We were like, maybe we shouldn't talk about that. We should be actually talking
Well,
about
Well, no, remember we did want to do it, but you wanted to be anonymous, no names, no nothing like
right,
that.
yeah.
So the man with the deep voice, he is unnamed. Well, I don't know. It's up to you. If you want to,
Yeah, we haven't said names, right?
no, just
No.
a special
We'll,
guest.
we'll bleep it out.
my name. Okay, good.
You are Fidencio. I am Rogelio.
Hortensia,
Hortensia.
Mm-hmm.
And you are...
Rogelio.
No, I'm Rogelio.
Oh,
He's
you're
Rogelio.
Guadalupe.
Okay.
That's a
No,
cool.
Socorro.
That's a
No, Guadalupe. We just call you Lupe.
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 There you
Yeah.
Lupita.
So, Fidencio, what brings you today?
go. Oh,
Me? I don't know.
Nah, I mean, we
look
don't
at the way
have to talk.
Manuel's sitting. Look at
He's
it.
so chill.
I know. That's
Oh,
the
man.
life.
It feels good. It's nice and cold.
mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean,
All right, Manuel. Back to my question I was asking you earlier. What do you think about churches having armed security? And should every church have someone armed?
especially like nowadays, right?
this
When there's
point,
been
yeah.
so many shootings, and especially church shootings as well.
I don't know. That's just difficult. You kind of.
How does your church do it?
We just started talking about it recently.
No, but like what happens as a conversation? Is there somebody armed now? Is it in the works?
I'm not too sure. I know one of somebody that goes there has one, but I don't know if he carries it. I haven't asked him if he has it with him. He maybe does. I don't know.
What's your opinion on guns? I've never really heard you talk about them.
I don't know. It's difficult, and my mind seems to change sometimes back and forth. It's a hard decision.
Well, first of all, what's your opinion on guns in general? Then, like, opinions on church, guns in church.
I don't know. And when I first think about it, I'm like, why need them? But and then eventually there's nothing wrong with them. I don't think there's anything wrong with having guns.
Okay, yeah,
know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure we all have that same
Because
idea.
sometimes you kind of feel like why, but then there's nothing really bad, and then you kind of like I feel like I wouldn't want to kill anybody just because I don't want to, but you just never know, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody really wants to kill anybody, but it's more of protecting the
Yeah.
people.
And I think in the Bible there's nothing against that. I think the Bible's only against murder, meaning that when you
Intentional.
intentional.
Yeah.
Accidental
So-
murder, I mean something that you're not doing or something different. You know, when you're not planning it, it's different than when you're planning.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Premeditated.
So obviously we can't be God and judge, but what do you think that person's eternity is? Like, let's say I had to shoot and kill someone in self-defense of Stephanie or Abraham. What would happen to me?
To you?
In your opinion, yeah. When I go up and meet God at the
Oh.
pearly gates, what's he gonna tell me?
Like I said, it's not a sin because I think there's a difference. If you killed him intentionally, knowing something or with hate in your heart, that's different than you're just defending. You know what I mean? Like even
Right.
in the Old Testament, it has that. I think, if I'm not mistaken, if you killed somebody, it's a difference between that and when you accidentally. Didn't they send them to like they outcasted them or something like that? Meaning that they didn't kill him, but like that maybe they did that too to prevent maybe from him getting hurt from the other family or something. You know what I mean? Or I don't know. So I don't think it's a sin, but it's just I think it's and when you think about it, it's kind of difficult, you know, because you don't want to do it. But when the situation comes, I don't know. I don't know. It's just I don't think nothing would happen. Probably God. Well, I don't even know. I don't know what he would require you of because you're not doing it out of a hard intent or like mean intent or I don't know.
Yeah, it's more of protecting the people there.
Yeah.
There's clear difference of you trying to intentionally kill somebody, and maybe I don't know. What do you think about people who maybe have that in mind, where they come with a gun, hoping someone comes in so they can shoot them? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's good and bad because it's kind of like, oh, this is what I trained for, all those hours at the range.
Right,
but then you're
right.
like, okay, I pull the trigger, someone dies. Then
Yeah.
not,
But then I think it all goes back to intention.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because what are you intending to do? Are you just really wanting to protect people, or you want someone to come
Yeah, I
in just so
think
you
you
can
just
shoot
answered
them?
your own question because if you're just prepared, that doesn't mean nothing because you're just prepared. But if you're
Right.
prepared, meaning that you want to do something, and then that's something different. You know what I mean?
Right,
You're
right.
prepared because you want this.
Yeah.
You didn't prepare because just in case, you know, I want to be ready. I don't want to use it, but I want to be ready.
Right.
You know, type of thing.
And I think that's most of the concealed handgun owners that, you know, obviously they go do hours in the range, spend all that money on ammo, but, you know, I doubt all of them. They're like, yeah, it's my time to shine, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
And of course, you're gonna get a few, no matter what. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it's nothing bad.
So, what do you think about churches now implementing those groups?
It was like safety teams or safety action,
Yeah.
something like that.
I don't know. Like I said, it's difficult. Sometimes I could understand it. Some other times, I don't know. I think it's one of the things you got to think about it. I don't know. You got to look at the Bible and I don't think there's anything bad, but you know.
So with that note, Manuel, the church that we're currently going to, I'm not going to name it in case this ever gets out. I doubt it, but you never know.
Yeah.
So after that, that psycho neighbor started firing into the air.
Yeah.
I was talking with the senior pastor,
Yeah.
and so in that church, in English it's called the first lady, but the pastora she runs the show basically.
La primera dama?
La primera dama, yeah.
Mhm.
She runs the show.
She wears
So-
the pants in the relationship.
or the skirt because
Oh, God, I hope this does not come out.
because it's UPC, but I don't know. Maybe we'll be rich and famous by the time this does. But I was talking to him. I'm like, hey, you know, there's several brothers that carry guns. You know, he trusts us enough. You know, I even mentioned like, hey, the group that you do choose, you know, we'll go out to the range, see if they're proficient. You know, I don't want them carrying a gun and they can't hit a target that's 3 feet away. You know,
Yeah.
obviously we can't have that. And he's like, yeah, you know, let me talk to the pastora, see what God tells her. And so I was talking to Stephanie. I'm like, yeah, I get it, pray about it, but the last thing we need is
My name's not Stephanie.
oh well, this won't get out then.
I'll just bleep it.
Bleep it, yeah.
There you
Beep. I was talking to Beep, and I was talking to the one that shouldn't be named. What's her name?
Hortensia.
I was talking to Hortensia.
There you go.
And I'm like, what do we need to actually form the safety team? I was like, what, 4 dead bodies on church ground? I'm like, at that point, it's too late.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that? Like that he needs to wait for, or they're waiting for God's confirmation to set it up. When obviously, I mean, look at yesterday, the Dallas shooting. I mean, what's the last thing? What are they waiting for?
I don't know. That's a difficult.
Well-
I think do require. I don't know. I can give you something simple and just at top of my head and
So what's holding you back from making a decision, or like what comes to your mind that keeps you from answering it, saying like it's a good idea or not?
Because if it was for me, yeah, these 4 dudes were going to the range this week. Let me see what you can do. All right, y'all are gonna start serving this day.
yeah.
Because we can't wait. I mean,
Yeah. Well, yeah, I would. You could do that, and you can always still pray, hoping to God that nothing happens. But I don't know. It just
But do you think they're right in waiting for an answer from God to form a safety team? What do y'all think?
I think yes, they're right, but also I think
I think they
you
could have
still need
done
to be prepared.
both. That's what I'm saying. I think you could have done both, meaning that you're not gonna do anything wrong by just preparing, but they're not gonna do anything wrong for praying. You know what I mean? Because you can always prepare and pray to God and say like, oh, is it wise to do this or not? If God says no, and then it doesn't matter. You train, you still train, but it doesn't do anything bad. And if it's not, God says no, and then, but
Because that Friday, the day of that he started shooting, several members went up to the pastor and like, hey, I have one.
yeah,
I'm licensed.
Oh, they
Um,
did?
I'm gonna bring it. Yeah.
yeah,
And she straight up told him, no, don't bring it. We're gonna fight this spiritually, which I completely get. But the last thing obviously I'm gonna pray, but the last thing on my mind during an active shooting is praying. I'm not gonna
Or
get on
waiting
my,
on God to give
or
you an
waiting on
answer.
God. I'm gonna run, or if I have my
yeah,
gun,
like
I'm
you're gonna
gonna
let him shoot
confront
you
the threat.
while you're praying.
Well, it's just hard because and these days, of course, we can protect ourselves. But when you talk about back then, the old apostles, when they went through all this stuff, they just went through it. I'm not saying just because they went through it, we gotta go through it. But when you think about Paul, when he talks about how he went through those times where he was by himself, or he got robbed. He went through so many things. They threw them in jail. They did all this stuff to them, and they just overcame it. But then I understand sometimes you use the law for yourself. Remember when Paul, they beat him. They did the lashes on him,
Mm-hmm.
and then he got kind of upset. Well, he kind of let it go, right? But then he when they told him that they told him to let him go, and he goes, "What? You can't be doing that. I'm a citizen of Rome. You know
Mhm.
you're not supposed to do that." And then they all got scared. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So meaning that he still used the laws for him. So it's kind of one of those things that I don't know. You know what I mean? Because sometimes I feel like, well, let's just leave it all to God, but he still used the laws of the land for his. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Everything's difficult. Maybe
Well-
I'm not a good brain.
No, it's fine.
Good
Well, think about it, right? Because now someone has an access to a gun that they didn't have before, back in the Jesus days, I guess.
Yeah, because they had like arrows and
Yeah, and it's now one person can kill so many people with just a gun. But then, how you mentioned laws, the laws now protect people's rights to congregate in freedom of religion, right? So that shouldn't mean that people have the right to just kill people because they don't like people gathering together in the service. So that's where the law comes in. But also, I think as far as the church over there, I think the pastor or my brother had mentioned that the pastor told him they've been having issues for a while now. People always there's been not a drive-by, but people driving by and just
Mm-hmm.
cursing at them and stuff like that. And we all know, right, it's demonic stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's what it could be too. Maybe it's that neighbor's possessed or whatever. Possibly.
Or it could be too that he's just
that's
annoyed of the
scary. A
music.
possessed neighbor with
Yeah.
access to a handgun.
Things like that can be like, of course, he could just be annoyed too with the music, and
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't help his cause. I mean, you know what I mean. You can't always say possess when maybe he's angry and then the devil makes him get more angry. Because if you think about it, it's just imagine somebody else, your neighbor having like a party, and he's just loud. You're gonna kind of sometimes get upset. So it's like a one thing you gotta think about. You gotta see it his way and then not his way. It's just kind of like I could
I get
I
that.
could understand, I guess, if you were inside, and then there wasn't that much sound coming in, but he kept going and saying all this stuff to y'all and cussing y'all. I mean, like, okay, that's something like more than that. Y'all not even bothering him, and he's coming out of his own way to tell y'all something. I think that's even more. I think the first thing is, of course, he's just getting annoyed by the sound, so he's
Yeah.
just mad, and then after that, it's just And I understand that's all you got. You know what I mean? I would say maybe I could get a temp, like
A building.
a building.
Building.
Yeah.
I think that would help you out a lot. I think it's just people get upset. They probably hear the loud noise, and people get upset. That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if anybody says anything that, well, they say like he went and killed everybody, but then they just say his wife will say, well, look, be in our shoes. You know, we're here. We're trying to fall asleep. We have our kids. We can't because the music's so loud and this and that.
But that shouldn't justify anybody to get a gun and shoot
Oh
up the
no,
whole
no,
church.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's justified. I'm just saying, you know what I mean. That's the thing they're gonna say. You know, things like that.
Yeah, maybe you just got pushed to the edge, and
Yeah.
after so many times of yelling and honking horns, you know.
It's like you know what? Like we did that once where a long time ago, where we wanted to have the music outside for people could hear. Right? I put once. This is like years ago, like probably 15 years ago. My uncle was still alive. He was a pastor. We wanted to put one, just a small speaker, the 12-inch, whatever speaker, right? I put it on loud, kind of mixed it and put it on loud, and to the preaching. And what happened? The cops got there.
I mean, that's a city though, so it's a little different.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying, you know, it wasn't even that loud. It was just a little speaker, and we kind of had it, you know what I mean? And they came in, they kind of, and of course the cop was cool, you know what I mean? I guess he was a Christian too, so we just kind of talking. I was like, oh, that's fine, you know, we just brought it in, but you know, it's just the noise, people. And then the worst thing, yeah, like you said, if they're not even spiritual, just by hearing the word of God, they're gonna get even more riled up. You know what I mean? They're getting kind of mad already, but and then by hearing, you know, the word of God, and they don't want to listen to it, you know, you're gonna get them more riled up on top of that.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that they're right, but you know, it's just, you know, one of those things that just, I don't know, that emoji with your shoulders shrugged.
Shrug one.
You know, of course there's probably an answer here somewhere, but you know, I'm, like I said, I'm not that smart of a guy.
Would you say I don't have a good brain? Or what?
Yeah, my brain.
I'm not a
don't
good
work so
brain.
good.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's a pretty good. Being outside of the situation, you look at it that way, but then like
Lupe.
Lupe,
He got a lot of editing to do,
Lupito.
dude.
he because he's been there already a couple times, he understands it more deeply because he's been there.
Yeah.
Maybe he knows like, oh, like he's this guy. As far as I know, he's like honked the horns and
Yeah, I mean little stuff that.
yeah.
Yeah, because how many services do you have a week? How many times are y'all out there?
It feels like forever.
In a
but-
super long time too.
Super- yeah.
They're there like after 10.
Well, see,
Mm.
that-
so
that's
we
the
got
thing.
Sundays, right? Sunday morning, you know, odds are he's off or whatever, but he's still doing his thing, right? Honking his horns, doing whatever.
Yeah.
Monday we're there for rehearsal. We're out of there by 9:30 at the latest. Tuesday nothing goes on. Wednesday there's service. We're done by 9:30 at the latest. Thursday nothing goes on. Friday youth service, same thing, 9:30.
Okay.
That's it.
And
9
see,
to 9:30.
That's the time we're usually done, about 9 or 9:30.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying it was from 9 to 9:30.
Oh no,
okay.
I wish.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe that guy, I don't know, maybe he's Catholic. He's only gone to church only ever on Sundays. And they're
Or
like, why
not
are these
even at all.
people here like every single day of the week? And
I mean, the
Why are
last
they
time he
super loud?
screamed, he did bring up a good point.
Didn't he? What did he say?
He came out and was like, "This is ridiculous. Lower it down. God can hear you." I'm like, "You're right. Like, you don't have to keep screaming. God can hear you."
Oh, only if
It's more the
work,
pastora. She yells. She
Oh.
yells. She preaches.
only if you can meet them halfway and maybe do half the service like acoustic type of thing.
And no, so here's the thing. So the pastor, he's met with the guy, and they've actually, after, because a couple weeks back he threatened to shoot up the church. That's
Uh-huh.
why we're all on edge. And so they sat down, and the pastor actually talked to him, and they explained where they were both coming from, and they both agreed to like be at peace, right?
Yeah.
And then something flipped this past week, and started shooting his gun.
So when was that, in the night or in the morning?
This was at night. It was Friday night.
Well, that's what I'm
Mhm.
saying. It's the
It was
night.
at the end of service. Everything
Yeah,
was quiet.
literally as soon as they said the final dismissal
Oh,
prayer,
Okay.
that's
Like-
when the shots rang out.
Yeah,
That's
like-
odd.
so, I mean, two things could be true. It's either he's already fed up with it
Yeah.
and that, or it's like it's very inconvenient And maybe other neighbors are mad too. It's just that he's the only one who's saying something.
Reacting
Yeah.
to it.
I mean, mind you that they've been doing outside service for the past 2-3 years.
Yeah, I think he's kind of tired.
He's
So-
probably-
My thing is, we obviously know he has guns in the house. We know he's been escalating. He's probably not mentally stable.
Mm.
How far is he gonna go?
or maybe talk to him. The pastor talk to him, asking, "Okay, look, I can't do everything, but what's bothering you? What time does it bother you?"
No,
when the
that's what
sound-
that sit down was. They both got to an agreement. They were both at peace. You know, we even agreed to like, hey, we'll bring it down. Blah blah blah.
No, I know, but like, did y'all talk about like how long or how late is enough, or if there's something special going on, or if he's tired, is there a way y'all can he can let y'all know, like that y'all can that service maybe keep it even down or go acoustic for that service, or
I mean,
Like, kinda-
I agree with that, but we also can't hold back because the neighbor's sleepy. You know what I mean?
yeah, but I
What do y'all
feel like
think?
it's one of those things where because you're outside, I could see that if you're inside, you could do whatever you want. But since you're outside, it'll be good to work with them instead of being in buds with them. I'm not saying you're gonna give in to anything he says, but I mean like somehow find a middle ground where, you know what I mean? Because if not, at the end of the day, so you don't want nobody to get shot. So
Well,
because
because let's play the devil's advocate, right? Because
Yeah, bro.
how convenient. So let's say he was the one with super loud music, like circular music, whatever he listens to. He's blasting it to the church at an
He does that.
inconvenient time. Like, what would the church say? You know, probably nothing. They'd probably be like, "Oh yeah, we understand, whatever." But I mean, just look at it on his point, like on his side. What if he was doing it?
what happens when you're preaching and he does that?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I can't even hear because the music is bumping, the bass.
He's
subs
done
or
that.
something.
We just bring up the volume on the 32.
Yeah, but now you're just playing fire with fire.
Yeah, I mean,
So
it's kind of a little kiddish, but he started it. You know,
yeah, but also the church started it.
that's true. So
I
from what I've heard, the church isn't in a financial spot to build a sanctuary or even look for one. So, you know, what could they do?
I'll-
Rent one?
I don't think they got money, dude.
Hmm.
We're funding all their equipment at this point. Well, you are.
With their
Yeah,
diezmos.
With the diezmos, yeah.
So is his mom is.
Man, if you want to contribute, I know you got your church, but
I
No.
got mine as it is.
No.
I was actually looking some here.
not for nothing for sale. No. Were we selling a base?
We'll see. At least
What
I
was
got
that?
I got a few here.
Yeah, you told me the day I'm selling a base. If you're interested.
Oh, to pay for y'all's wedding.
Oh,
We'll see.
But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, you have to get his point too, because he's probably already tired. 3 years
Yeah.
of just, what is it?
Because if y'all can't
Silence?
concede to each other, and then all you're doing is that he's gonna get mad or you're gonna get mad, and somebody's gonna end up dying.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
33 years of remolineando,
Yeah.
remolineando.
Like I think there's
Yahweh.
Yahweh with that song, dude. Yahweh.
maybe find a way maybe on that side or on the edges to get some kind of soundproofing or something.
Yeah,
reduce your
at least
sound?
put up
There's gotta
some
be
sort of
something.
wall.
What we want to do, because the real culprit is the drums, we want to build a drum enclosure. But since it's outside,
Get a cajon.
Oh man, you're gonna.
I am
sweat.
gonna die in that drum enclosure. So I legit told the pastor, hey, hold off on it, because unless you could put a mini split or something in it, I'm gonna die in there.
I mean, if he creates like a window space, we can get one of those window.
Yeah, I mean that's an
Units.
option. I mean, if we build the enclosure, we're gonna custom make it to our liking.
Well,
Yeah.
isn't it gonna still be the same though? Because you're gonna still have to hire it on their speakers just to hear it.
But it'll be more fine tuned. You know what I mean? It won't be, because the real culprit is the cymbals. When everything, I'm a big cymbal guy on the drums.
Mhm.
So
Have you thought about those other cymbals, the ones that have the hose, like the hybrid?
yeah, but I don't like those. The tones on them, they're not.
Oh yeah, there's gonna, or only if you find maybe somewhat in the closure and putting some soundproofing on that, and then put also soundproofing on your outside.
I mean, you saw we don't have an outside. We just have a cloth. That's our wall cloth.
I know, that's what I'm saying. All you gotta do is get some towels, get a few towels, get some old towels, and just get a nice one at the edge, and then make a trim start putting them on the to capture the sound.
Good.
It doesn't have to be nothing extravagant, you know what I mean? Just try to do like little things where it hangs, or maybe have like a stool, or like, I don't know, just something where it can sit on the ground. Have your towels like that, you know, stacked up, and that can suck up. And then on your drums, have another one. Have something different where it can kind of capture the sound. So hopefully it doesn't, you know.
Good.
I'm thinking, you know, the cheapest way, like
Yeah.
that. You don't have to buy like the expensive like soundproofing, or I don't know if they sell a row or something that's soundproof, like maybe like a cardboard. There's like maybe a special cardboard that you can buy that can kind of, you know.
I mean, since our tides are basically getting all the big equipment like TVs and little sound stuff, I'm hoping they can, go a little bit big on the drum enclosure. That would be the goal.
Yeah. But I don't know.
Mr. Host, what is the first?
Oh, I am not the host. We are all hosts.
Sounds very culty. Like I should get my
the Lord of Hosts.
my black robe on and start hitting my head against the wall. What's the first church culture topic?
That's a good question.
Something that the pastors are afraid to talk about from the pulpit.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we talked about it the last time, right? Where I think a lot of churches are just preaching not just like prosperity gospel, but and just not. They're not really preaching about, hey, you don't repent, you're going to hell.
It's like a modern therapy session or something.
It's a therapy session with worship music in the beginning.
So yeah, we talked about the worship part being like a concert type. It's a show.
Oh, real side note on that. So, this pastora, dude. So, and me and Hortensia are annoyed with the songs that they're choosing because they choose songs based on feeling. So we had this conversation, or she had the conversation with us. She's like, I only like these certain songs repeated because
The spirit moves.
I
in these
feel
songs.
God in those songs, not in any other songs. I only feel it in those certain songs.
Only the spirit can move in these songs.
What do y'all think about that?
Yes.
I mean,
That's
to an
just-
extension, yeah. But then I would question maybe you and say, why don't you believe her?
No, it's not that we don't believe her. I feel like she's limiting God on what songs he can move.
Like, legit,
You can't
it's
just
only,
move in one Yahweh song.
it's only Yahweh and some. It's literally all Oasi songs, Oasi's ministry. That's all they do.
Okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love their music, but
So not to judge you or anything, but
I feel judged.
Yep.
to
Okay,
be
the
judged.
judge coming.
Play that the X-Files one. Now you're judge be.
Here we go.
Should have put the Judge Judy.
So
Dun,
Oh,
if she is the pastor, I'm not saying she's wrong or right, but probably more right than wrong. What does God tell you?
I mean, obviously, I gotta
question.
I gotta follow authority. I mean, I got my opinion.
No. I understand that, but what makes you think she's wrong?
It's just that gut feeling I get, dude. Like,
Yeah, but the gut feeling is in the spirit.
it could be indigestion too.
Yeah. What I'm saying is,
Knowing me,
yeah. Yeah. Gut
what I'm
problems
what I'm saying is maybe
got
you look at it
problems.
more
and love problems.
out of a
Just keep
because
going.
you've had experience in worship, and we've played different songs, and trust me, we've played so many songs over and over and over. I mean, the whole hymnario, we've gone through it, and I get it, repeating songs over and over again, but I think they have a point
Mhm.
in saying that because those songs, they say the spirit moves. I think it's more people relate to them more because they've heard them several times, and I think the point of a worship or a song, whatever, is to bring the spirit in.
Mhm.
And I would think the pastor would be someone who can discern that. And I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying
I don't know
that
about that.
I'm just saying that she might have an idea. Hey, I need this song repeated because I need to get my point across to the song.
and I get that.
I get that.
I don't see that though.
Because obviously, let's say if I have a sermon and I have a song that ties with it, obviously you're gonna repeat it just to
Yeah, that's
back up what the sermon has to say.
It's the same sermon then.
You know, it's
If you're playing the same
this
song.
a little side note. This is what I think about music. You know, the pastora says that she only feels God with the chords of that song or with that song in general. But looking at all those chords, those are all minor chords.
Yeah.
Those of y'all that know music theory know that minor chords are known to pull the heartstrings and
Yeah.
pull the heart, tug the heart. So is she going based off the Spirit of God, or is she just going off the emotion that those chords draw?
Because I'm thinking if it's God, you could have no music.
Or you can even have
Just by
Mhm.
singing it.
or you have a fast song, God can still move.
Yeah.
A common
Mhm.
misconception that we
Is it
have in
the
the church
music?
is that
Or is
if
it the song?
if the song has to be in 6/8 and hit the minor second in order for God to move.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean. Like, I don't see that either. I see that. Well, my mind went blank.
Come
Like-
on,
What were we
man.
talking about?
I'll let you. Like you said, it's because they play it continuously. Well, why can't we play other songs and they'll get used to it? You know, that's our thing too. Like,
Have you offered like any other songs? That
yes.
Have
And she
hold
says-
on. That follow kind of the
Hortensia's getting mad.
note patterns, the same minors.
Yeah. So basically all of Oasis is basically in the same key. They follow that minor. They're all minor songs. They basically the 6/4-1-5 same, you know, heart tugging minor chords, and they're specific on those only certain songs.
That's why on Wednesdays or when days that they still do the YouTube, we try to put new songs, but still songs they know. Like Creo en Ti, everybody knew it, but they never play it.
But they didn't like it because they didn't feel God in Creo en
But
Ti.
everybody knew it. They didn't need the lyrics. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Have you? I don't know. Maybe it's just an idea, but maybe creating like a playlist and send it to every member of the church.
Here.
We don't need their opinion though.
No, not their opinion. The point is that we need to get them hearing the songs,
Well,
so that when they come to church, oh, I heard that song.
That's why we do the at the end music.
Yeah, I
Walk
mean-
out
No,
movie.
Yeah.
Well, that's just when they're at church. I'm saying, like, hey, make a CD or whatever, or if they all have an iPhone or something, make
That's too
them.
much.
Well,
It's not, because you can make just a playlist and send it to the.
I mean,
to
I
them.
wouldn't mind doing the work for that, but the demographic of the church, they're all older people. I mean, people like my grandma
And
your mom.
that's even more of the reason why you would make that list, so that they can get used to hearing the songs. If you can get the pastors behind the idea and say, hey, we want to be able to sing these songs because I believe that these songs can be also effective as those ones if we keep on playing.
Mhm.
So can we create a song list and send it to everybody in the congregation, however they hear the music, and say, hey, we want you to hear these songs so that they can just be in the back of your mind, playing when you're cleaning, mopping, or whatever you're doing at work or going to work or whatever, and just playing in the background, so that when we come to church, you know that when you hear this song, you can be like fast tracked to the Spirit, instead of
Fast
just
track to the
trying
Spirit.
to learn the
No.
songs.
If
Just
you
an
want-
idea.
I don't know. I say if
It's a lot of work.
that works. I think if it's like old songs or Bible songs, because that's actually the word of God. But
Mhm.
all these new songs,
And we're not trying to push new songs. We're not trying to push the
No.
newest
yeah.
elevation
No,
or Beto en
songs they-
Español.
And I'm
We-
not saying that these new songs are all bad. No, they're not. You know what I mean? But I could understand maybe how you know how it was over here, how he wanted those old songs. But if you think about it, those old songs were for years ago, and they're
They still hit, dude.
yeah, they still
We
hit
st- we
and
sing
they
them.
preach. And also a lot of them they speak to the people that don't go to church. And sometimes you want to hear. You don't want, since y'all have people that hear outside. I would say why don't y'all sing songs also that have the word of God to speak to the people out there, because you're not just trying to get the people in. You should get also the people that are your neighbors, like that they can come in.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things that I think I wouldn't agree with her, but she's the pastor. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, if she says repeat Yahweh 30
Well-
times, I'm gonna have to repeat it 30 times.
It's like
you
me
know?
when I was younger too. Our uncle, the pastor made us sing all those. I didn't like it either. Now that I'm older, I actually like them. You know what I mean? Like, there's something to it. But when I was younger too, I hated it.
Man, you remember when I was like leading the songs,
Uh-huh.
and there was this one time where we just sing a bunch of new ones or something. We need like Jesus Adrian or something.
And
then at the end when
That
I
was
was
new back
finished, yeah, and in the end when I was finished, Pastor,
Proyecto
our uncle,
Ajá.
he would just come up and vamos a cantar del himnario porque no hemos cantado de los himnarios.
Yeah.
And he would just start singing that.
Yeah.
Like completely.
That's what she kind
disregarding.
of does do. She says, "Play Yahweh."
But also
Play.
at the AL,
Oh, but
Abundance of
abundance,
God, grace
yeah,
of God.
there.
beep it out.
The reason why like I stopped wanting to play is because they would always go back to the older, well, not even, we would have our song list, and then in the middle of the service the pastors would come up and change the song list completely.
Mm-hmm.
So that and so we never got to play the ones we actually practiced, and then they would try to sing a song that we didn't even know because they had played it so long before. So I can see both sides, trying to play new songs and then getting rejected, and then also trying to play just any other song and say, no, let's just sing the regular one again.
Yeah.
The one, yeah. So I don't know, it just depends.
Yeah.
But also I think that because of the worship pastor that was there
Mm-hmm.
at AL,
Mm-hmm.
you know him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was the worship leader, and they trusted him with the worship completely. And so when he left, they didn't know who to go to, so they, by default, the pastors were the worship pastors.
Oh.
And so they thought their ideas would be better. And I mean, I'm not gonna question them, but we didn't get any input. So maybe I'm just saying maybe the pastors, because they don't have a dedicated worship leader, they take things into their own hands.
But I was gonna say, I keep telling him they put Lupe as the worship leader, but they're telling him what to do. Like, what's the point?
So you're not really the worship.
That's what I keep telling him. I
I'm
don't
just
think
a proxy.
you're just
And I'm not there for the title. I mean, I really don't care
But
about
they
it.
gave it to you.
Yeah, I mean, in a conversation I
for it.
had, or the whole team had with them. That's another issue for another podcast. I told him, I'm like, hey, maybe you're doing this way because you've never had a worship team, but you know that's not the way to go. And I think that's one thing that they gotta understand is this is on you for them. They're not. Y'all can understand running a team of creatives is different than running a team that's non-creative, because creatives think differently. We're hardwired differently. You know, when we have a bad day, we don't go vent on Facebook and, you know, tag everybody in their mama. What do? We go to our instruments. We do this. We do that. We express ourselves in our creative manner. So, I mean, that's why I think that they don't know how to deal with the worship team, because they've never dealt with a group of creatives.
And also, if the pastor doesn't have confidence in you and is always correcting you and telling you what to do,
But
the people underneath you, they're not going to respect you either.
that also comes from the pastora.
Yeah.
So
Because what she says goes, and that's fine. She can say with them whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but they can't give you the title and just give you all the blame and none of the credit.
Mm-hmm.
true.
What do you think? Silencio.
What's new
Am I
to
wrong?
me? Because no, it's fine. We just have different experiences. I only had the same experience pretty much my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I talk from one side of view, but then I always try to think of things like this. I try to think of the Bible, and you never see these kind of things in the Bible. So it's all new things that we deal this time of generation. It's just been 100 years or 80 years that we've been dealing with this, because I don't think it was ever like this. You know,
It's
what I
all
mean?
new stuff.
Yeah, it's all new things that are going on. When you read the Bible, there was really nothing, like this. Of course, I don't think I agree with her that's saying that you sing these songs, this is what brings God down, because I don't think it's that.
Mm-mm.
I think it's your dedication at home, what you do at home, and then you come to worship God. You give God anything, meaning and you don't need music, or you don't need something special for you to feel God. If you do need God, if you need that, I don't think it's God. I think it's just your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because look at these people. Like I always say, I always try to think outside the U.S. Look at these people outside the U.S. when they're poor. They travel a day or 2 days just to get to a service. You know what I mean? They're giving feel that they're already worshiping there just by making that route, 2-day route or whatever, just to get there, and then they get there to worship. And sometimes not even no instruments or nothing. It's just something simple. And, they give it all to God. You know what I mean? And us, we got everything on our hand, and we need this to be perfect. We need the lighting. We need the pad to be rolling for me to feel God. If that's what all you need. All that. It's not really God.
So you think it's more of like a first world problem?
It's a what?
First world problem.
I think so, because I think out of us, who thinks of this? Maybe Mexico or the rich, because there's some rich churches or rich places outside the U.S. But other than that, you know what I mean? There's just a lot of poor churches. They get there, they have their little guitar, and they're just singing.
So do you think? Sorry, go ahead.
No, and I'm just saying. And then sometimes a lot of those are the people that are dying. They're telling them, we're gonna take your family, or they're getting murdered and nobody does anything about it, and they're even and they give their life for God and everything away. You know what I mean? And just a little guitar, so that's just together with the family clapping, or at church, and they're the ones that sometimes don't have nothing to eat. Their kids die. They have no medicine, and we got everything here, and we need everything we need all that, and then at the end of the day, what do we do the rest of the week? Nothing. Have we prayed for, let's just say, 30 minutes that whole week? Probably no. Did we even read the Bible for 30 minutes? No. And then, but we get here at church, that's one song is going to make me touch to God. Not really, you know what I mean? If you did it all, if you prayed all week, no matter what, just by saying, maybe raising up your hands or anything, you're going to feel the presence of God. But how can you feel the presence of God if you don't do nothing all week and then you're expected to get it all in one day? But I don't know. It's just, I don't know. My brain just works like I have no idea. It's just.
You have an idea how your brain works.
Yeah. I don't know, because I'm always thinking of everything in balances. I don't want to go too much this way because, and then I don't want to say that, maybe in some situations, not every situation, I try not to talk about everything because I think life is more complicated than just a simple answer. You know what I mean? Like the immigrants, that's what I always picture about the immigrants. Everybody's like, oh, I don't want them and this and that, but you gotta see it both ways. You know what I mean? I don't know. Life is just complicated.
Aliens.
Illegals.
Yeah.
No,
I don't know.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think we think we need all this production to bring the presence of God. I think that's what you mean, because if we wouldn't be having these problems if we just had one guitar player singing, and then it'd be the same because you're there to get closer to God, not to see a performance or a show. And you're not there to see this famous pastor or this pastora who's a prophet or something. I'm just saying that she isn't. But, I mean, you don't go because of the person. You go because you want to see God or you want to get closer to God.
Yeah. And I'm not even going that far either, because sometimes I think about it. When you do pray and you look for God even more, sometimes you do want to do more. You know what I mean? Sometimes you want to, you know what? I want to make this service be better, sound better. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
So that's the kind of balance. I don't want to go too far, because sometimes when you pray and you like that, you're like, it's like when God says to the relationship, like a woman, you're trying to, I want to impress her. I want to do this for her. You know what I mean? Like for God, like you've been praying, you've been doing, you're like, I feel like I could do better and I don't. You know what I mean? Like I could be playing this guitar better. Well, I'm going to learn it better for God. You know what I mean? Or I'm going to make this better for God. So that's why I don't want to go too far and say like, you do all this and then it's for nothing. But sometimes, when you do get closer to God, you want to do better. You know what I mean? So I don't want us to say, I think it's a balance.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's a balance.
Yeah.
You don't want
to go too far. You're just thinking about, oh, you need all this just to serve God. But and then, that's not true, because sometimes when you actually want to serve God, of course, the first thing is look for God, tell people about the Word of God. But, you want to, I don't know, you just want it to be a little bit better. Because you don't, I'm doing it for God, so I'm going to try to do the best I can. I don't want it to just like, oh, I'm doing, I love God and all that, but I'm just going to do whatever. You know what I mean? You get that passion, like, I want to do the best I can. So, I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I agree. So I don't know if maybe, I think because we've I guess us, right, on YouTube, we've all had like experience being in the church production, church production or worship team, whatever, that going into this new church, we already instantly have ideas of how to make it better. And I think maybe not the downfall, but also it's kind of a hindrance too, because you're looking at it more of in the production side, because you know stuff that has worked before, instead of focusing more on. I'm not saying you're not. I'm just saying the focus should be more on bringing the spirit down, instead of I'm not saying that not having a production doesn't do it, or having it does, but I think because we are like following the pastors, I think we should follow their lead. And I'm not saying like in a culty way,
Mm-hmm.
Been
but you kind of, because maybe that you've been there, you kind of know what to look for. And if you think the pastors are competent and they are actually serving and are in connection with God, maybe let's follow their lead first, and maybe God will say, hey, well, good, you're listening to me, you're listening to them. Now we can bring all this other stuff.
Yeah, I thought about that too.
Yeah. And if they're wrong, you look at the Word of God and you just tell them. You talk to them on the side. Hey, now if they're doing something like they're not supposed to, that's something different. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know who said it, but I forgot in the Bible. It's obedience is better than sacrifice.
El Pastor Abraham.
Yeah.
You know.
You're
We're-
talking
we're-
about Samuel when he's talking
yes.
to Saul
Because he thought that because he put out the sacrifices instead of waiting on him to come.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I think we should, I'm not saying,
Well, I think the first thing would be almost getting the team ready, saying, okay, guys, our plan, first thing, we're worshiping God. So put aside your music, your instruments, everything for now. I mean, I'm not saying like don't practice nothing. I'm saying the first thing we got to do, guys, is look for God. So at least every day, guys, what we're going to try to do when you're home, we're going to find at least 30 minutes to pray. Find at least 3 chapters, or we're going to learn the book of Psalms maybe this whole month. Maybe do like 3 chapters a day and study, because what we want is God's presence first.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because if you got God's presence, you could be playing just one chord and God's presence will come. You know what I mean? If it's not God's presence, you're going to need all these chords or all this stuff to make God's presence come. And this is going to be feelings. You know what I mean? I think the main thing is God, and what God wants the heart. So I think the first thing you would do is say, like, let's find a way where we can fast, we can do this, or we can do that. And then from there, work your way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, because and then what you want them to fall in love with God, because now they're doing it because, like I said,
Because
like
they
you
want
fall,
to do it.
yeah, they fall in love like with the woman. Like God is like the bride, right? No, we're the bride of God. So you want them to fall in love. You want them to do it with love, because sometimes it feels like maybe they're just doing it just to do it, or
Yeah.
just to have, you know what I mean, just to have the time. But if they actually fall in love with God, they want to do it because they feel it. They're like, I want more of Him. You know what I mean? I want to do this, and then you're gonna feel it in the worship and the practice and all that, because they're doing it actually with love, and they're feeling like in the struggle and all that. God help me in this struggle. I've been praying, I've been fasting, and I want this. Unlike somebody that just comes, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna play.
And that's how you're going to weed out the people who don't actually want to be there. If they're just going just because they want to grab a mic,
Yeah,
grab an
Yeah,
instrument.
because we started to like, Pastor already told us, hey, you gotta pray. Like, what? You gotta fast these days. Pray.
Praying hours.
We
stuff
pray
like
in
that.
always before every service, every practice. So
yeah.
I get
and
that.
the person
what I
who
mean?
doesn't want to do that, that's the person
And
who's
the
doing
most
it for the
impor-
wrong reason.
And the most important, I think, they gotta do it at their own time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Find their best time. Is it before work, after work? You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What were you gonna say? I saw you raise your hand.
Stretching.
Lupe?
Yeah, I mean, we're close to an hour. I don't know if you need to go or something. We can keep going.
What's your curfew?
What's your curfew?
you're the one that worked.
Oh, you don't work.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right.
You don't work either.
What's y'all's curfew?
Yeah, what's your score for?
I
I'm
mean,
fine.
my room's over there. I'm just gonna go to sleep.
I know, but I don't want y'all to be like.
No, that's
tired
fine.
too.
That's
So
fine.
my guess is that we can probably leave this one here because we covered some pretty good topics.
Start
Yeah.
a new one or what?
Yeah, we can start a new one. I also want to check if it recorded too.
True, check it. Yeah.
You can stop it.
But yeah, any final words, Fidencio?
Special guest. Hailing all the way from South San
Eat your
Antonio.
Wheaties in the morning.
Eat your Wheaties. We'll make,
Carbohydrates and sugar.
we'll make T-shirts. The front's gonna have a picture of a FUD, the FUD logo, and the back's gonna say "Eat your Wheaties in the morning."
There you go.
FUD report.
What do you think about church culture?
The name or
Yeah,
overall,
yeah,
or emphasize cult on culture.
yeah. Emphasis on cult.
Sure.
I've been through a couple, so
Cool.
I don't know.
Sure.
The emoji sign with the shrug.
Oh
shrugging
god, the shrug.
soldiers. There you go.
Have you seen the Elmo one where he's like,
Exactly. That's what I say.
what about Abe's Bros podcast?
oh god, no.
That's a little spin
I'm
off.
gonna make the shirts too.
Abe's Bros, yeah.
They don't do it anymore, huh? Oh man.
Are they beefy?
Or just don't have no time.
Who's that? That's a podcast?
We
No,
can, we
it's-
can do an after dark
After
podcast.
hours?
After dark. You
After
know,
dark podcast and do all the cheese man.
oh yeah, I'll name names there. I'll drop names.
That one for sure with beepy stuff.
Names, addresses, churches to
The whole
watch out
thing's gonna
for.
be
Doxing people.
Yeah. It's gonna,
Wow.
it's gonna sound like beep 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 beep.
Like the heart monitor just flatline.
Beep.
Like, what are you listening to?
Church culture after hours.
There you go.
Well, yeah, man. Is that it? Did you want to?
Oh, thank you
Touch
for
on something.
dead naming me.
Oh, damn it! I need to bleep it again.
Beep it.
Hey,
Sorry, Fidencio.
I don't think that since it's all recording one file, I don't think you can beep. You gotta go individually and go and
Yeah.
beep.
Damn it.
Oh, that's fine.
Next time let's record on Logic, that way you can multi-track it.
I mean, it has a connection for the computer too,
Mm-hmm.
so we can record. You just bring your laptop. We can record the next one with it.
Yeah.
Logic or GarageBand or whatever.
Wasn't it the same thing? You can just put in the file in Logic and then just cut it up.
Well, no, because everything's being recorded as
It's
one stereo
one.
file.
Instead of
It's
individual.
one track.
It's like the 32 where you put the USB to record your home mix.
Oh, you're talking
Yeah.
about you want to record all separate mics.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
yeah.
way, that way,
Oh, okay.
That way you can beep it.
that way, Abraham has to beep. I doubt this is coming out.
God.
Yeah, it's not coming
If we
out.
become famous, I get paid more. Yeah, right.
Stop delivering mail.
Oh, thank God. I'm tired of it.
Well, thank you, Manny, for coming to our very first episode of Church Culture. In
Hey, we never
our-
did the FUD report segment.
Oh yeah.
Next
There's
one.
a segment?
No, that's probably the segment. Huh? We should just come up with topics for that segment.
The FUD report. Like, doesn't have to be church. Like, off, whatever.
Like in
Yeah.
the news or what?
Or
Maybe
just
current events.
current
maybe?
events, whatever.
We can
Joke of the
say,
day.
Joke of the day.
With the report. Y'all better hurry up because things are getting expensive. Mike,
There you go.
anything out there? So watch out for that.
Hey, we
Alright.
could do that too. Like church gear. Like what we're using.
Oh,
any
that'd be cool
ideas?
too.
Because
Yeah.
there's only 2 podcasts I know that do that, and man, they get thousands of likes.
Oh, that's
Views.
cool. Yeah, we can do that. We have a bunch of equipment here that we can talk about. So.
Oh yeah.
All right, Manny. Well, sorry, damn it, feed it.
Good thing this was never coming out.
All right, so whoever this one person hears it, thank you for hearing us, and
Thank you, Mom.
goodbye.